It's me, Lynn Rene MacDonald, here for our live weekly show. Excuse me. Tonight, it's every Wednesday at 7:15 p.m., our live talk forum, which is really a question and answer, a Q&A to help and assist everybody in these times, a psychic Q&A. And we were going to really focus on that tonight in these times to make it a lot of fun, give everybody a break from the heaviness that's going on out in the world, because we talk about so many different things on the show. So, hey, everybody, it's great to see you all coming on here. And we have our live audience. We have Rachel and Jen both here to help and assist us for our show, and I'm super grateful. Thank you, Jen, and thank you, Rachel. And so again, for anybody who's new, the show is about asking questions, getting your questions answered. And tonight we were going to focus on something really, really cool, the supernatural, beyond supernatural, ghosts, dreams, past lives, questions such as these to help in these times, lighten things up, see things a little bit differently, and just to get a different theme going here tonight, guided by higher knowing, universe, love. And that's what we're going to do for tonight. And our show is designed to help and assist people, as you all know. It's every Wednesday evening, again, 7:15 p.m. We have a live audience here at the Institute for Christ Consciousness and the Copper Dragon here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. As you know, this is where we do our show live. And tonight we have a few people in our audience tonight. We have Sophia and RC. Hi, RC. Sophia's our usual weekly person who comes in with us, right? And RC, I believe, is new today, right?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Glad you could come. So all you guys, get your questions ready, because we're going to focus on, like I said, a psychic question and answer. Like we always do that anyways, weekly, as you guys always know. And but tonight, we're going to kind of make it a little more like entertaining in terms of like spooky and fun, So this said, let's go from here. And Rachel, who's on tonight?
Right now we got Sarah Andrews.
Okay, hey Sarah.
Noble.
Okay.
Hello, Sarah.
Hey.
Teresa Courtney Lloyd, Andrea Dorkowski, who loves your scarf.
Oh, thank you.
And Sarah
This
Noble
golden
saying
one.
past lives is right up her alley.
Fantastic. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming. And thank you, RC and Sophia, for coming and supporting us here. I know winter weather is a little different in summertime, right? So hopefully we'll get more people in the summertime, but then they'll be swimming, right? They'll be swimming. Okay. So tonight we're going to focus on questions. One of the things that was really wild that we noticed in the last 24 hours is, I think it's the Grammys, isn't it? Oh, I'm sure all you guys saw the Grammys. Did you guys see that show, that craziness? Yeah, there has been a lot of stuff that people put up in reference to that we have seen. And I mean, it's really, really insane how you can really, really, really see all this darkness going on in the world. And I'm sure that will be one of our things that we talk about tonight in terms of our question and answer. Because, it's not every day that we see these shows and this darkness, like what's going on in Hollywood. It's crazy. And that's also what prompted me to do this video here tonight as well, or add those things into the video. So that said, hey, everybody, again, thank you all for coming. And Rachel, do we have any questions to start?
No questions yet online.
Okay. All right.
Everybody's still coming on.
All right. So anybody in our live audience have any questions?
I do have questions.
Sophia does? Okay.
I know that you were going to be doing a supernatural segment, so I didn't know if I should save it for that or should if I...
No, this is kind of it. Okay. You know what I mean? I was going to separate it, and then I'm like, what should I do, God? What should I do, love? All right. So go ahead.
Well, I was wondering, I was over at my friend's apartment over on New Year's, and we were walking out of the hallway into the kitchen.
Could you speak up for us?
Yeah. We were walking out of the hallway into the kitchen, and I wasn't thinking about ghosts. I've never thought about ghosts while I'm over at her apartment, and we were walking into the kitchen, and then, this, massive, white figure came, flying at me from the hallway, and I jumped back and hit the wall because it scared me. I thought it was a person.
Yeah.
And it was creepy. It just creeped me out. And it was he kind of looked like a traditional ghost. I feel like he was an old man with long white hair and a white beard and white clothes.
Okay. All right.
And it just didn't feel good to me. It really freaked me out. It didn't really bother my friend because she thought it was just being weird.
But did your friend see the ghost?
No, it was just me. She was ahead of me, and I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I turned, and it just freaked me out.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know what you felt about it.
What I felt about it and what I'm picking up on it. Okay, so if everybody didn't hear that, Sophia said she was at her friend's house. When was this? New Year's?
Yeah, New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, and I think she was staying over there, and she saw a ghost that came out of the corner of the kitchen and came like at her. And did it fly by you?
No, I was, we were leaving the hallway. It came from the other end of the hallway and flew at me, and, there was like a wall behind me, and it just came right at me. It didn't fly by me, it just...
And then it disappeared?
Yep.
Did it, like, go into the wall? Like, you know, like you see that stuff on Ghostbusters and shit? You know what I'm talking about?
I wouldn't know because my back was against the wall, and I was looking down the hallway.
But then it was gone?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess so?
Well, it disappeared somehow, right? But you just didn't know the whole dynamics of it. Mm-hmm. Okay. With things like ghosts, it's very unique. As you know, people will say ghosts are energies that have crossed over, right? So basically, ghosts are souls that are still here, okay? And they choose to be in that format when they're in here. Do you see what I'm saying? When they're in this reality. Every soul is different and comes in different ways. Just like every person manifests differently. Do you know, like RC is looks like this and is this energy, and you're Sophia energy, and Tom's this energy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what I'm picking up on is different ghosts also will do different things. Some of them will be friendly and they'll want your help. They'll just want to be friends. They just want to stay in the house or protect the house. And so there's lots of different things that they do, okay, depending on the ghost. This particular one, I feel, was getting enjoyment out of scaring you. There is no doubt in my mind. It was just like, woo, and that's what they do. You know, when they come at you and you go, oh, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So this one was really, you know, having a field day with that, and then flew by you and boom, disappeared. Do you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times they will do stuff like that. The part you know yourself, because in your astrology, because I've seen your astrology chart, because you work with us all the time on a regular basis. So we see you a lot and we know a lot about you. But also these kinds of gifts of seeing multidimensionally come in with Cancerian energy. All right. And you have what?
Cancer.
A Cancer moon, right? Mm-hmm. So in your subconscious soul, you're going to be super in tune with all different realms, all different energies, you know, past lives, ghosts, medium. Cancer is your top of the line sign for medium work because it bridges dimensions. It's the subconscious soul, okay? Of all the water signs, if you think of Cancer, it's the top of the ocean. All right, it's the top of the ocean. And that bridges the air and the water and the earth. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if you think of those as three different dimensions, it lends itself to that. So Cancer is all the water and emotion on the top of the ocean that is multidimensional, but it also goes deep. Right? Mm-hmm. So just like Pluto tends to go deep. Pisces is all the water in the ocean. All right. And that's all emotions, all the emotional stuff. So your Cancer placements, your Cancer aspects are where your most prominent medium gifts come from. So you will have powerful ones. And when you have a Cancer moon, or Rachel, what do you have? Cancer rising? Yeah. And you have Cancer moon, Cancer rising in astrology, you are definitely going to have these gifts. Or if, like with me, I have my 8th house, which is Scorpio by nature in astrology. My 8th house is Scorpio. So I have 29 degrees Cancer in my natal chart is what my Scorpio house starts in. Okay. So therefore that's massive medium gifts, understanding, getting to the bottom of the truth about everything metaphysical, because your 8th house is Scorpio. Do you see that? So I can dive deep with God or universe or love to get the answers that I need to help people and help people with metaphysical work such as this, and Cancer work and medium work, like ghosts and understanding what they're doing and what's happening. And it's funny because this ghost literally feels like a Ghostbuster type of ghost. Did it feel that way to you, like afterwards, or when you think about it, or were you just too scared?
I could definitely see that, because it's funny because it definitely spooked me, but I didn't get a horrible feeling, so I could see how it was like that type of ghost to just scare you. And
it was like enjoying that. And it really, and the truth is, with the power of love or God, you can do anything. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have all the power, not the ghost. And the same thing is true in Earth world as people. We have all the power until we what? Give up our power, allow ourselves to be afraid of something or someone, or allow ourselves to be swayed in our beliefs or allow our fears to take over. Do you see? Mm-hmm. So this particular ghost flew right by you, was enjoying the moment. I feel that it's in Molly's apartment complex, right? Yeah. Sophia has a friend named Molly, and Molly and Sophia chill together and a lot. And so this ghost is in a new apartment complex, and they dug up all the land over there. And this isn't that long ago. I feel like it's a fairly new complex, right? Yeah, but I feel like what I'm picking up on is this ghost doesn't just stay at Molly's house. It does this to all the people in all the apartments. Funny. And it enjoys it. It's actually, it's part of the reason it won't leave, because it's having such a good time. Yeah, funny, not funny, right? But when you think about it, it makes complete sense. Mm-hmm. But it's not doing really any harm. It just gets a kick out of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Kind of like when we get a kick out of things and jokes and things like that. You know what I mean? Okay. So that said, that answer your question, Sophia?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. How about you, Ray? Any other questions over here?
We have Teresa.
Okay. Hey, Teresa. Our usual Teresa Courtney Lloyd?
Yes.
All right. Thanks for coming, girl. All right. Go ahead.
She is asking why most of her dreams involve people who have passed away. Some are even relatives of friends.
Okay. Most of your dreams involve people who have passed away is what you're asking, why most of them do. Okay. What this tells me, Teresa, is in your dreams, all right, you have a gift with dreams. All right, multi-dimension, okay? If I looked at your chart, I would probably see some powerful Cancerian placements. All souls have the power to do these things, all souls. But if you thought about which sign, which planet, which aspects are most responsible for certain things, Cancer has a big role in all of this kind of multi-dimensional stuff, and it is really your dominant sign for that. Just like if you thought about Aquarius or Uranus being your most intellectual, head smart, right, sign in the zodiac, just like your air signs, right? Like you could say Libra is your most communicative one. Doesn't mean that all the other ones can't communicate, but there are ones that are really experts at it, like the Cancer energy for doing medium work and understanding these things. And, like Pluto getting to the bottom, and Scorpio getting to the bottom of the God's honest truth of everything, right? Mm-hmm. So this is all part of those gifts. So I'm sure, Teresa, that you have part of these, some prominent Cancerian placements in your chart, aspects as well. It may not necessarily be a moon, but it very well could be. I see you as doing, and what's really neat is I feel for you, the most prominent energy here that brings this in is your Piscean energy. Because Pisces is about sleep, it's about dreaming, it's about past lives. So this Pisces energy, along with this Cancer energy, because everything in your astrology is not one aspect. Everything in your soul is not one aspect. It's multiple aspects that make up everything that happens to you in your life. So if you don't have a lot of, like let's say you were going to win the lottery, right? If you don't have a lot of aspects in your chart, like 20 over and over and over, at the same time that say you're going to win the lottery, then you are less likely to win it. If you know what I mean? If you have a whole bunch of them, you're going to win it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So the same thing is true here. The more of these aspects you have, Cancer, Pluto, or Scorpio, and Pisces. I feel this is a prominent Pisces energy in you, Teresa. All right, because Pisces is about dreaming, it's about illusions, it's about the fog, and then along with the Cancerian stuff, you put those things together, and now you're dreaming and doing medium work, like Cancer, in your dreams, okay? Which is really neat. Yeah, it's part of your gifts, and it happens over and over because your soul, this is a very powerful gift that your soul has. Your soul is able to pick up and do amazing things, and has done this for lifetimes, so it's kind of like on autopilot. It automatically does that. I've had some wild dreams myself, where people come in. I had one where there was a young lady who was killed in high school, and I wasn't in a really healthy space, and none of us were way back when. She was killed in that Pan Am flight, right? That one, the Lockerbie, Scotland one. And Flight 103, yeah. And so what happened is one night I must have been doing some healing work and stuff on me metaphysically with my soul. And one night I went to bed, and all those people that I used to hang out with that were sort of her friends, but we weren't really so close. We were all of a sudden in my dream, I was sitting at a table with all these people, and I said to them, why are you guys here? You were never really my friends. right? And I was like, it was like a boom, boom. My soul was like having a moment, but it was in a dream. And all of their souls were there because my soul is working this stuff out. So your soul is working this stuff out too. And it's designed to help people, because why these people all came in, that was about my bullshit with them, my toxic stuff, so to speak, with them, right? And so, but in the case of why she came in, her friends and all were there because her brother is having a really hard time with her being gone. And it was like 20 some years later. Do you see what I'm saying? 20 some years later. And so what was happening is this girl came to me with her other friends who were like my friends sort of in high school, right? And she came to me with them to ask me for a favor, basically, to look out for her brother who's not well in Earth World and is really having a hard time without her. Really wild stuff, right? And you don't think anything about it till you're in these situations, and he kept popping up literally in Earth World on my Facebook page. And I think I said to you, Jen, I said, oh, isn't this so-and-so? Isn't this so-and-so? And we were like, wow, they're still posting stuff on this page because they're stuck. And again, that's cancer. They're stuck grieving in the past for what was, what could have been. And I'm sure many of you know and have done this yourself, and we do too, because we love so strong and so hard, and we can't let go. And we have a really hard time. Many of you, I'm sure, have seen people grieve, and they don't just grieve for a few years. Grieving is a process, and you do it from love in the healthiest, best way for you. But there is a line, like a boundary, and a well way to do it. At some point, you will hit that crossroads where it isn't healthy anymore. And after 20 years of this young man having these issues with his older sister who passed away on the airplane, and then all those guys came to me, and I did tell them that I would help them, because my shit from the past is my stuff from the past. It's not necessarily the healthiest and best stuff, that I need to bring to the table here, but my soul was doing its own healing within that dream for my own personal stuff with these people. And what do I want to do? I decided, hey, he does need help. He's asking for help on a subconscious level. He wouldn't be coming onto my Facebook page or into my feed in my reality. And they certainly would not have come. We were sitting at a table. And what do you do at tables? You have what? Meetings. You have get-togethers. What? Conversation. Yeah, conversation, right? Yeah. So you get together and you talk about things. So Teresa, I feel like this is all part of a variation of these kinds of gifts that you have. And it's, excuse me, it's neat to explain them to people, because without our experiences, people don't really get it. And then you can relate your experiences to this kind of thing, where most of the time we're like scared, and I could have dove into my stuff from my youth where I was extremely toxic and said, hey, screw you. I don't want to help you. I don't want to help anybody, but in my heart, I knew that wasn't the right thing to do. And they were asking me for help. And then I got to heal a lot of my stuff from the past, from when I was a kid, the stuff that I brought over that was in my youth too as well, which was really fascinating. So this is what happened in this dream. So I talked to them and I told them, yes, I would help him. And we did reach out, but he was like this, and then when that happens, you give it to the angels. You do your best you can do. You ask the universe to guide you. You can reach out, but you don't constantly bother somebody. I did my fair share. In other words, I did what was right from love that these souls asked me to do when they came into my dream. Okay. And I did the right thing in Earth World for the young man to help him move forward, but he wasn't interested. And then I have to let it go, because just like with everything in our lives, we can't force people to do what we want them to do. Even if these other people are coming to us, they have to be what? Open to it. So Teresa, I think you have I know you have incredible medium gifts, and this is part of your stuff. If you're not journaling, do, and write down your experiences. Because more often than not, these are real people coming to you for assistance as they're crossing over for healing work, so that you can work with other people to have the answers that you need, and get the answers that you need to help people heal from these things. And this is also part of grieving and how we let go of people. Medium work, people think, oh, medium work. A lot of times if you're in Earth World reality, people think, oh, being a medium is BS, and it's not really the truth about what's going on in the world, and I don't believe in that. that at all. But I will tell you this, it's all about healing. It's all about connecting with these souls to realize and see and understand how things truly work energetically with all that is love or God. You see, this is how things really are, and it allows the people to see and connect with them and heal, to say the things that they couldn't say. You see, and these dreams, Teresa, allow you to do that if you so choose. But just like I said, I can't always tell people and have them listen. Just like here on the show, some people come on, some people stay on all the time. We have regular followers, just like at the shopping center. We have lots and lots of regular followers, and then we have people who come once in a while and go. And that's the nature of the space of God or love that each one of us is in our souls. When it is time for us to understand higher knowing or whatever it is we got to understand on our journey, our souls will lead us there. Okay, so there's your answer, Teresa. And definitely journal. Okay, all right. So Rachel, who's next?
Okay. Nikki's next. She actually called in.
Okay.
Do you want me to pass it?
Hey, Nikki. Hey, everybody. We got Nikki here. Hi, Nikki. Thanks for calling in. All right. So I'm going to kind of put you right here for a minute, Nick. I don't know if I can get you on here. That would help. Thanks. All right. So what's going on?
So, as a child, I used to have somebody who would come visit me when times got tough. I had a very toxic, I had a very toxic childhood, and as an adult, I believe that the times when that spirit would come in were times where I thought I was going to check out.
Okay.
So, like, in my childhood, and it started with the spirit, like, touching my leg. Nothing creepy and nothing scary. It was comforting. And eventually it got to the point where I would move over and the spirit would lay down next to me and just comfort me in my times of despair.
Okay.
And then when that passed away, or when that time passed, the spirit went away. And then when I became 21, I became super sick and was in the process of, like, crossing over again. My body went septic and the spirit came back.
Right. Okay. Go ahead.
I was just wondering, like, who it is, and I guess what's up with that.
Yeah, what I'm picking up on is it's a grandmother in past lifetimes, from past lifetimes, okay? This is about, and I feel like it's the same grandmother. It is also a spirit guide of yours, all right? This is all part of your soul's arrangement, grand designs, just like when you have angels, all right? Like, people think, oh, I have this angel, or I have this guide, or this spirit animal, and they think that this is the only one that they have, and that's not true. We have infinite angels, animals, guides, spirit guides, people, souls who assist us from love energy. Okay. So what happens is, and what's happening with you is, in your deepest, darkest, toughest times, this grandmother energy, this lovely, beautiful energy comes to comfort you. And she is a guide who comes in your toughest times. What they're showing me is, last week, I think we talked about a little bit about, that prayer, where Jesus is walking on the beach. We talked about that, right? Where the guy says, why did you leave me here? There's only one set of footprints. I think that's the name of it, right? Footprints. And then Jesus says, well, that was when I carried you. This is an angel that is doing that kind of work for you. But it is a grandmother as well. It is a grandmother from past lives, and a lot of them. So I feel like she has been in your life in many, many lifetimes. Okay. I do feel she was in this one as well. And whether you realize her or got to meet her in your reality, it's debatable, because I feel like there's a lot of grandmother energies around you, and they're toxic. And this is, about family lineage. You have some toxic ones, as we've talked about in the past, right? But this is not one of those. This is just one that is just such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful soul. And they have signed on to help and assist you through these really tough times. And she will be with you throughout this entire life, and you can call on her as well. Have you ever called on her?
I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah. So, and that's good to know for all of us. So, and the same thing with the ghosts, right? When you want the ghosts to go away, like people literally will call me up and they'll say, oh, I need a house clearing and we've talked about this in some of our other shows as well. I had that one woman who came in, said her 3-year-old is seeing ghosts. And then I went in and she said, I just want the ghost gone. And I said, it doesn't have to be a scary thing. The ghost is a 13-year-old or what was she, 12, 13? She might have been 14, but she was younger. She was a younger girl. She was from the Victorian age. And all she really wanted to do, like that ghost wanted to scare you, was play with the little boy like her little brother. You know what I mean? She just wanted to have fun, but the people were so scared. The woman was so afraid. And guess what kind of energy they had? I said, I bet you were a cancer, or you have cancer, huge cancer placements. She goes, yeah, this used to happen to me too. And then it happens to her brother, the kid's son. This is in the ancestry, these gifts. Do you see what I'm saying? Really, really neat stuff. So, and this is not unlike what is happening with you. You can call her in, and what happened with this ghost is they said to me, well, I just want this ghost gone. And I said, okay, because they're afraid. They're afraid. There are two things, again, that create fear and love, and they're afraid. So they don't want to, they don't want to mess with it. They can't be bothered, asking it from love to leave and being kind to it. Like, and Sophia, you could do the same thing with that crazy ghost. Say, hey, no more, please. Go do your thing and send him love and angels, and you can protect yourself. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. And ask universe, God, love for the same things, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, this said, when that girl, when I was there, the woman said, well, we paid you to get rid of this ghost. And basically, in Earthworld and their ideas of what needs to be done, what happens is I ended up asking the ghost to leave. And I said, and I said to her, I said, you sure you want to do this? I said, because your son has these gifts. He's going to call in more and more and more ghosts. Absolutely. Because these are part of his gifts, and you can't deny those gifts. You could try, but it's just like everything that is the nature of love or God, right? You can't deny it. It's going to be there in your reality, So I asked the ghost politely to leave, and this is the funny part, and she left. She said, okay, she got up, she left, and I'm thinking the ghost is gone, and I get in my Jeep, and then she's in the truck with me. It was so funny. I looked over there, and she's sitting right next to me in the front seat, and I just started laughing, because you guys have all the power. But I had a totally different perspective on this. Do you see what I'm saying? I saw this as a young girl. I absolutely loved her. She came here with us. I don't even see her now. She doesn't even bother us. She doesn't really even come around. If I asked her to, she will be here. She does like Sophia. Have you seen her?
I don't think so. Maybe once.
Okay. Yeah, maybe once or twice when she first came. I feel like she's doing other things now, but so this is what happened. She ended up coming here, but my perspective of how I address everything, or the way I believe and the way I see things, is everything. When I come from love, I have all the power. If I give her the power and I yell or I scream or I get scared, then she may do it more, or it may create more instances where she keeps coming back and I keep seeing her and keep getting afraid, because that's the cycle of manifestation in Earth World. That's how things work, right? You create what it is you want from love, or what you don't want from fear, right? Okay. So, you have all the power, Nikki, and that's why I told this story about this girl, and I haven't seen her, and it was quite humorous. She kind of joked with me by getting in my car and driving off with me. It was really kind of humorous, and I found it endearing. Where the people who called me in were absolutely afraid. They were afraid. They didn't want anything to do with it. They didn't want to learn about this, but that's not for me to worry about. I went in, I did my job. She came with me, and then it's done. Do you see? Yeah. Okay. So, Nick, are you going to stay on here, or what was your plan? Should I let you go and then put you back on the show? What do you feel?
Yeah, that's fine. I just had one other question.
Okay, sure.
Does the name come in for her?
Who? The girl that was with me?
No, my guardian grandmother.
Your guardian grandmother. Okay. Let me just see. Yeah, I get same kind of old world Victorian name. What comes in is Isabella. Do you have any of that in your family? Are you aware of?
And Isabella, no.
Or Isabel? But it, like I said, it does not have to be somebody that you knew in this lifetime. Let's say you do what Sophia likes to do, go into your family tree. It would not surprise me if you find it in there. Do you see what I'm saying? The truth always shows up somewhere in your reality, and it'll show up over and over. And that's what people do. They go, well, I never heard of that, or my grandmother, there's no grandmother by that name that I know, right? And I'm not saying that that's what you're doing, but that happens more often than not because people aren't in the space to understand how the whole complexity of how it all works. But the more they work with love, the more they change that. Do you see? So when I say Isabella, I would definitely look that up in the family tree because it will somewhere be in there. And then we can talk more about it too in the future on a personal level, or if you want to bring it to a future show. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So thanks. Is that all your questions for now?
I mean, I have other questions, but I figure
you let other people answer or have questions. Thank you. Thanks, Nick. Okay. Do you want to stay on the phone or do you need the phone?
I need the phone.
Jen needs the phone, so we got to let you go.
Goodbye.
Okay. Bye, Nick. Thank you. All right, everybody say bye to Nikki. Bye. All right. Okay, so who else we have, Ray?
We have Dee. She's got a dream question.
Okay, hey Dee. Dee, go ahead.
So she had a dream that her house caught fire. It started in her mom's room, and then Dee ran out of the house. Her mom didn't appear, so she thinks that she got lost in the fire. And while she's out on the street, the person walking down the road was you, Lynn.
I just happened to be there.
And she said that you were saying that's the only thing you have to worry on now. And then she ended up getting in the passenger seat of a fire truck, and her two cats, Creme and Solstice, were the ones driving the truck. She said Creme was at the steering wheel, and Solstice was working the gear shifts and pedals. She would like some help dissecting this.
Okay. Can you reread just the front part of the dream, like the first 3 or 4 lines for me, please?
Her house caught fire. It started in her mom's room, and then she ran out of the house. Her mom didn't appear, and she got lost, and then you started walking down the street.
Okay, and then things started to come into a better or different perspective.
Yes.
You know, because if the house is burning, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
All right. So I do feel, Dee, that your soul is working out this stuff in your personal life. So your dream and our dreams will also reflect our personal stuff. Absolutely 110%. Like the dream that I talked about earlier, how I was working out some of my stuff on all my childhood teen friends that, you know, weren't really my friends. We all slept with everybody's boyfriends and yucky stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then you betrayed each other and all that yuck, you know, back then, you know. So I'm bringing that up because those are the things that are toxic, like from our childhoods and things like that, that we carry with us in our lives, in our souls, right? In the portals of our souls and in this lifetime, the energy that we carry with us, okay? So we have that. So you have that as well, Dee, as we all do. And everybody, whatever soul you are at, or whatever soul space you are in, whatever level you are at, we all have this whole gift, all these gifts, and this process of working through stuff. And our soul does this. It goes multidimensional. It goes through portals within itself. It does the Cancer Pisces thing in our dreams. So with your mom, this fire energy, I feel is what has happened with your mom and her illness at this time. In other words, the illness started in like your mom's room, like the fire started there, and then it blew up into this wildfire, and fire is scary. Right? So this is about your fears, about what's going to happen, what's happening to your family, your fears, your house is burning down, your mother, your 4th house in your astrology and in your soul and in your personal astrology chart, right? The 4th house is your center space. It's your home space. It's your IC. It's your family connection. It's your mother. It's the house of the mother. So this, is all wrapped up in your soul and the stuff that you're healing with this. I feel your soul, the reason the house is on fire, because it's really scary when our parents and our families and the people that we love become sick. You know, I can tell you that when my one daughter started having seizures 2 years ago, it was just horrific. You know, it's hard to decide whether it's worse to be sick for yourself or when you see your children sick or the people you love sick. You know, so I mean, you know, if you had to weigh it out, those are tough times. So I do feel that this energy, D, this fire energy is you're in the firestorm and you're trying to get your stuff together, and you have been one of our people for a long time now. You've been working with me. I mean, I used to work with your mom and you too, as you know. And so I feel like what my soul represents is that solace, that peace state, that healing, that, let's say, God space, or that higher knowing of love. And it's not me personally, it's what this image or myself represents to you and your soul. And it's a way out of the fire is by going to higher power, higher knowing as you learn, and you got to work this out. Same thing with your cats in the fire truck. The fire truck does what? Rescues us from the fire. So of course there would be a fire truck. It makes complete logical sense, right, in Earthworld. But the coolest thing is with your creative imagination too, and tapping into this lifetime and different lifetimes, is that your cats, which are your babies, are driving the truck. And the cool thing is you still have them. They're solid. They're together. They're not sick. And you are super blessed. And pets help us. And they're helping rescue you from the fire, from the darkness, from the challenges, from all that is going on. And so your soul is working this out, telling you what's going on, showing you all the beautiful things that you have within yourself to work through this, to see the truth about what's going on, to get it. And on a soul subconscious level, this is what's happening. So you're working through this firestorm that you're living in, but there is light at the end of the tunnel through the fire truck, through the image of God through me, or universe or love through me, through your cats. Because our pets are some of our most amazing healing energies that we have. I mean, just incredible. People have no idea the amazing gifts that our pets bring to us and help us. Incredible stuff. Incredible. Okay, so I hope that answers all your questions, Dee. And if you have any more, put them up here and in reference to that. All right, so anybody else, Ray? Jen.
Yes, Sarah Sutra is wondering about her last past life. If you could tell her about that.
Okay, Sarah Sutra. Hey, girl. All right, what's going on with Sarah Sutra? Huh? Wow. All right, so Sarah Sutra wants to know about her would she say last past life? Or a past life? Like, what's going on?
No, she says, just wondering if you can catch a glimpse of my past life, my last incarnate.
Okay.
And then she said, thanks.
Yeah. All right. Sarah, what's interesting, the first thing I got, you know the movie The Jetsons? It's not a movie, it was a cartoon series way back in the day.
Meet George Jetson.
Yeah, meet George Jetson, his boy Elroy, you know, yeah. A lot of you guys might not know it, but it's old. You can look it up. But it was like an outer space kind of show. And it's funny because they're showing me you, Sarah, as a little boy in a spaceship. In an outer spaceship. And what's unique about this is this is what's coming in from a past lifetime. Now, it doesn't mean you are literally in a spaceship. Okay. Holy crap. So there's more stuff coming in with this. You're super creative and super gifted. You have stuff going on in you, Sarah, that you haven't even tapped into yet. Huge. And this is why this is coming in. I feel like you're looking for these doorways. And so this is why this lifetime is coming in. All right. Because I see you as a little kid, 8, 9, 10, 11, and you're in the spaceship and you're like flying around. You have an incredible imagination, because what's wild about this is this goes back to the 1800s. All right. So you were a little boy, what I'm picking up on, and you were like, what was that poet? Robert Frost? Is it Robert Frost, who was really sick and he used to write poems and he was in his house all the time and he never came out? This is what they're showing me. You had a lifetime that was like a little kid, a little boy who was a little boy. You were a little boy and you were very, very, very sick on and off throughout your life. And it started, and ultimately it was scarlet fever that killed you. And this is in the 1800s. I feel this is in the early 1800s. But you used to have books and drawings and you used to imagine being in spaceships, and because your whole world was really very much like his life. Like, and so look him up, because this is what they're showing me. Isn't this crazy? It's so cool. So cool. because they're showing me you being inside, being sick on and off, almost dying many times. Ultimately, it's the scarlet fever that did kill you. I feel like it was about when you were 12. But what's really cool is creatively, you lived. You lived, right? Like Rachel's friend's dog just this past week got killed by a car, and it was a 3-year-old dog. And this guy took this dog all over the country. And at 3 years old, this dog lived more than most dogs I know. And so, living and quality of life, is really something we need to take into consideration in these situations, because you as this little guy really, truly lived creatively, and you haven't even tapped into this energy. Do you have dreams, like creative, bizarre dreams when you become sick? Because this energy comes in when you don't feel good, and when you're sick or you're not 100%, you're run down. Just not unlike Nikki's grandmother comes in, your soul goes into creative mode, and this is part of your gifts. But again, like Nikki, you could write down your stuff and you can tap into these energies, but you can also tap into these spaces in your soul. Right? Ask universe, ask and you shall receive, right? Yeah. Always from love. So that said, this is what's coming in for you, and it's also to help you and assist you in these times creatively in going in some really neat creative directions. And as a little boy, you really lived. So your life was fulfilled, just like that dog. That dog's life was fulfilled. Nobody likes to hear that it dies at 3 years old in your human space, but or that a little boy like you were in that lifetime could be so sick and be so tormented, right? But truly, you lived, and it enabled you to open up creative doorways that normal people don't have access to, right? So you have incredible gifts. So ask universe, ask love, ask God to open them. Yeah. Wild stuff, right? Yeah, that's super cool. I do feel that there is nothing really toxic. I feel like this is just a completed life. I feel like you've done most of the work on this energetically to heal this stuff, but this was also brought in today by your soul, so that you could tap into these creative spaces in you and, what is the word I'm looking for? Utilize this energy and this creativeness. So write stuff down and work with this energy for your new destiny, your new life, and all the doorways of how you can use this energy, because you have incredible gifts. Incredible gifts. All right, girl? All right. Many blessings. All right. Who's next, Ray?
We have Steve.
Steve Giltz?
Yes.
All right, Steve.
He said he went for a walk yesterday and saw a car that had been totaled. The car was like someone's that he knows. He spoke to somebody else about the accident, and he told him that it was a young girl in her 20s speeding on the wrong side of the road. He said the accident was horrendous, and it was a miracle that she survived. He was very emotional when he walked away, and is wondering if he picked up the driver's energy or the first responders' energy, or something else is going on.
Okay, so Steve, let me clarify this. Steve is saying that he had an experience yesterday where he was going somewhere and either on a walk or somewhere, and he ran into, he saw a truck that had just gotten an accident that got totaled.
Yeah, he got to the accident
I want to make sure
after it had already happened. So I think it was kind of already fizzled out and everything.
Okay,
so damage.
Okay, and the girl and the ambulance and all that stuff is gone.
Yes, from what he said, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Steve, I'm going to ask universe, what's the God's honest truth here about this accident and what happened here? And the gentleman that was there said, oh, she's lucky she survived, right?
Yeah, and I think Steve said that too. He said it was just horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, soul is an amazing thing. It's incredible what you can go through and still come out on top or well. I'm just getting in the space of the girl, and the issue is why you're picking up on so many of those emotions is, when you have an experience like this, that's a horrific accident, a lot of times your soul will shut off, black out, won't be present in it. I do feel that the emotions are not necessarily from the accident, literally, that she is shook up. I feel the real issue of what's going on is the girl has a lot of mental and emotional trauma to begin with. She's not right. Do you see? And I feel this bipolar, schizophrenia, this kind of energy. And it's interesting because you can't really have like a solid vehicle if you're not well internally. Do you see? So if we don't address the things that's going on in her, then she can't function out here in Earth world. So therefore, at some point, the vehicle that she's traveling in, let's say her body, this was definitely not unlike your experience, Steve, when you had an accident, and other people's experiences that I've been with, where sometimes they wish they were dead, or they want to die, or they're suicidal, or they're mentally unstable and unwell, and then boom, this is what brings that energy in as well. So there is a host of things going on. She's not mentally well. I do feel she was on some kind of medicine that made her exceptionally groggy, and that's really kind of the catalyst for the cause of it, along with the mental illness. But I feel you're picking up on that illness and that mental illness, and you can only want to kill yourself and not do it so many times and keep thinking in that toxic way before the opportunity comes in with universe, with such horrific car accidents and things like that, or terrible accidents, or what you would think people would die in, because your soul will call those things in. Do you see? They will call in ways for you to exit out. And in the end, I feel like the girl went, I think I want to stay. Yeah, I think I want to stay, So this is all that's coming in. That is the most prominent stuff with this experience for you, Steve. And what we are is what we draw into us. So I'm sure all of us can relate to being depressed or sad, or, at some point throughout our lives, or having challenges, or know somebody who has been in these spaces where they almost killed themselves or wanted to kill themselves, and wild stuff like this has happened, and we all can relate. And when we can relate to each other and have that in our lives, then it still creates it out here. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what you are is what you're going to create around you. So again, Steve, this is universe showing you this energy of what a space that, let's say, you were in at one time that you are no longer in. And so you're feeling those powerful emotions in this experience. And that's super, super cool. And this is also for me too, and anybody else who has this as well, where you will have those kinds of experiences from when you were younger, through depression or whatever, anxiety, wanting to leave, horrible experiences, tough times, emotionally, we all have been there in some way, shape, or form, or know people who have. So these energies connect us to those times, and they reflect to us ourselves in positive, well ways, like seeing what you saw, Steve, and being able to say, wow, I can see these things, and I saw those things once in me, and I'm healing me. Or I see those things, and maybe I'm still doing that. You know what I mean? And that's a wake up sign for me as well. I don't feel like you're in that space, Steve. I feel like this is to show you your gifts and how far you've come. Yeah, neat stuff, right?
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. How about RC? You got a question? In our live audience here.
But, it's you said I kind of like dealing with darkness and stuff, because tonight, when fears manifest into darkness, like to where it feels like the energy around you can become like really bad.
Okay, so you're asking me, yes, this is a darkness class, absolutely, or not a class really. It's a darkness show is the focus of this for tonight. No. Okay, but you can ask anything. Okay. So yeah, so that's fine. So you're asking me if you have like lots of dark energy or dark feelings?
Yes.
And can that manifest around you?
Yes.
Now, when you say around you, like in your energy, like a cloud around you?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can tell you Jennifer has gone out shopping in places, and then she comes back, she leaves in a good mood. She's like, hi, Lynn. Oh, it's so good to see you today. And then she goes shopping or goes somewhere, and she comes back and she's like just shitty or toxic. She's like, why don't you just leave me alone and get away from me? Yeah. So the answer is we do have energy on us, around us, in us. Okay. Mm-hmm. And being the more let's say intuitive or empathic or spiritual. When I say spiritual, or having spiritual gifts, or metaphysical gifts is a better word for it, right? Metaphysical gifts, then the more out here you're going to pick up on the energy that's going on around you, and other people are going to pick up on your energy. So you're going to have energies that's like dark clouds. I remember when my one daughter, just to give you an idea, when my one daughter was like 9 years old, right? She wanted to go to the 7-Eleven, and there was like some somebody walking down the street and they had horrible pedophile energy, you know, dark energy. And I'm not saying that you have that, okay? What I'm saying is these things manifest and you feel in their energy, right? In people. Like it could be anybody who walks down the street. Like, let's say, you know, there's a new person that moves in and you see her kids out playing and you're like, yeah, something's not right with those kids, right? Yeah. And then you like feel like you get to meet her and then you instantly know that she's beating the shit or beating the crap out of the kids or stuffing them in the closet, and you're like, oh my God, she's abusing them. And you feel it, and you know, because you feel it in her what? Inner energy. So it can manifest as like a cloud around you, so to speak, that people can literally see, or an energy that they go, oh yeah, there's something not right over there, or this feels like pedophilia energy, or this feels like abusive energy. Now this is extreme cases, you know what I'm saying? Right. You know, of really big darkness, you know, just like my neighbor across the street one time, she started dating this guy, and then we found out that the guy that she was dating like killed 3 people and got away with it and lied to everybody and then told her the truth. And we were like, oh my God. But you could, when you looked at his energy and you felt it, you knew that that was the truth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, because weird stuff like this happens all the time with energy and souls, but that doesn't mean he gets off, you see. Yeah. But that's not somebody I want to date. For sure. Nor do I want my kids to hang out with this girl who is dating this guy. Do you see? Now, I think since then, a lot has happened. Okay? A lot has happened since then, and we don't really see them. We moved away. They moved away. They're doing their own thing. But this energy is what's happening, and the truth is always in there. And if you want to know, ask love. Hey, what's the God's honest truth about what's going on here? What is really happening? Do you see? So that you can get the answers, and then ask universe too to clear it out from love. Clear it out from love and release it and put the best way to be from love. I have a YouTube show. Under Lynn Rene MacDonald, Practical Spirituality Live. And from what started years ago, I think 2017 or 2018, right? And it was just little segments. And this is where I started doing the videos, and then we stopped for a while because of the COVID-19 stuff, guided by higher knowing, and then we started doing the live shows, right? Yeah. So, but the reason I'm telling you this is so that you can go on to the YouTube and you can learn all about these awesome tools to help you, and everybody here can, in these times of everything that I teach. I teach so much of it right here every week, but also there's simple little videos that you can watch that are not an hour and 40-minute show or hour and a half show like we do here. You know what I mean? Right. So if you have 5 minutes and you're going to work, people tell me they listen to them when they're going to work, and they're funny. Sometimes I lose my SHIT with them, you know, but they absolutely are funny. They're fun, but they tell you the truth and they give you the tools, you know, in layman's terms. And this is back several years ago now, right? I think 2017, it might have been 2018, but this is back a bunch of years ago. And so that's when I'm in a different space of love, or a different soul space, a different space of God. You see what I'm saying? So it's designed, you know, because I said to the universe, what should I do with this? Should I keep this going? Absolutely. Because there's a lot of wonderful material in there that's really simple, easy to get, to the point, and is not, let's say, is in for all levels of whatever space of love you're in as you grow and learn and walk down this path. You know what I mean? Your life path. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah, your journey, your soul's journey. Yeah. So does that make sense to you?
It does.
Okay. And do you have any more questions related to it, or?
No, not really.
Okay. All right. How about you, Sophia? Do you have another question? Questions from our live audience? Go ahead.
Oh,
Unless you don't have any. Huh?
No, I do.
Okay.
I know we talked about this. I see a lot of ghosts and stuff like that, but I wanted to know why in specific, like at our old house, like in my old room, that's where I saw the most stuff, and I saw a lot of clowns, so I wanted to know why I saw clowns. They were really creepy. I saw clowns coming out of my closet, and then clowns floating outside of my window looking in.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know why you felt that was.
Okay. So Sophia is asking about the last house that we lived in, which was a portal for all kinds of magical energy. It was elemental. It had a home for the elderly behind it. So we're going to have a lot of people crossing over behind our house. So we're going to get a lot of souls coming through the grounds. And also I think it's ancient and Native American burial grounds. Or Indian burial grounds that are in that area over there, okay, here in Virginia Beach. So all of these things play a role, plus the hospital is a few blocks down the street. There's all kinds of like medical stuff going on, you know. So when you ask me about why that, you know, there's a whole ton of metaphysical stuff, all of that makes sense here in Earth World. Think about what's going on in Earth World reality out here, because that all plays a role. Is when souls cross over, they go to the light, they get a little disoriented, they get lost, they do different things depending on the energy as they I don't want to say transmute, but as they go or cross over, go through the process of leaving this dimension. Okay, so that house was an exceptionally magical house. I remember the first day I walked down the driveway and these walls went up that were huge. And I was like, yeah, this is just so bizarre. So this energy, you know, I remember feeling that and never having felt that before. And I knew the house was magic and I fell in love with it. But that was the whole trick. The house is elemental energy. It's a trickster house. That's why we all became sick. Do you see? Mm-hmm. But if the people had done the right thing from love for the house, it very well would have gone down in a different way. But also, it's not just because of this elemental energy and this metaphysical energy that came with this house. It is also because of the things that we ask universe or love or God for. Do you see? Ask and you shall receive. You manifest. You create. Words, thoughts, feelings, emotion creates, right? So when you ask me, you know, you saw lots and lots of souls all around. I know Rachel did. I know I did. There was always that dark energy that would come like in the side driveway. You know what I'm talking? I'm like, creep. You know it. I would go out there at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I would get like chill going down my back because I knew something bad and toxic was there. Do you know what I'm saying? And I couldn't see it, but I could feel the energy, and it was like I was being watched. Do you see what I'm saying? And I never liked that when I was going. But then, you know, I talked to God, I talked to universe, I talked to love, right? And I change all of that. You know, and then I have the power and I don't give my power to that. And then I ask to be free of it. And then it is so. Do you see? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but you were asking, you know, about the clowns, but this is really important, all of this, so everybody understands or gets an idea of this whole scope here of what's going on, you know, across the board. But there's a lot more to this. And what's funny is when we went to that one spiritual event, and it was in the dead of winter, and there were all those clowns around there too, remember? And then when we drove home, you said, I saw these clowns, and the person who was throwing the event thought you were crazy and that you didn't know what you were talking about, and they were dark clowns, and I know they were dark clowns.
Oh, yeah.
So you're seeing multidimensionally. Mm-hmm. And the wild thing about clowns is they're really not a positive, healthy energy. They're a dark energy. If you think about it, really, if you think about McDonald's, right? Ronald McDonald is a clown. Is their food healthy for you? You see my point? Yeah. The messages are there over and over. Clowns overall carry incredibly dark energy. I don't want to be a clown. I don't want a clown at my birthday. And so if you want to see and work with clowns, and look at how many horror stories are with clowns. What's that one Stephen King wrote? It. And then also John Wayne Gacy, who was really, really sick, was a clown. Yeah. But what was lovely about him is if you look into him, right? If you look into him, if you could say, well, you know, put aside the serial killer, scary stuff and your fears about it and the darkness all wrapped up in it, and you look at John Wayne Gacy, you can see a man that loved children, and that's why he wanted to be a clown. Do you see? That's part of the allure for him. Now that will be a more positive, healthy space of a clown, but overall it's not a healthy energy, and in the end he ended up killing people. Do you see what I'm saying? Was a serial killer. Do you see? So this clown energy is part of your gifts. And remember, just like you said, RC, about dark energy, if you have dark energy around you, you're going to attract that kind of energy to you, right? It's the difference between an angel board and a Ouija board. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you want to go drum up those spirits, or do you want to talk to the angels, you know?
Right.
And not all things are bad or toxic, as long as you keep a scope on what's going on and you remember that you have all the power of love. And this is what is coming for the whole world and is already happening, even though there's all this darkness and all this crazy stuff. And these clowns come in with you being in darker spaces. Do you see? Just like with the house, when you're sick, right? Physically, mentally, spiritually, you're not in a healthier vibration. So that also is going to bring stuff and experiences like this. And remember, I saw those clowns, right? But I didn't see them to the extent that you saw them, right? And I was talking to you about it when we were driving home. And then what did we see? We pulled in to a rest stop back in Virginia because we were in Maryland at the time. And what happened? We saw literally one of those clowns in the rest stop, didn't we?
I think I was asleep, but I think I remember you.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit. Excuse my French. I'm like, oh my God, you know, there's a, you know, a clown right there, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's just crazy. And so that was universe validating you telling me that over and over and over and over and over and over. Do you see? I saw them. I knew they were there. The snow was really deep. It was cold. It was winter. It was fields and farms. We were in the middle of nowhere, and it was like creepy as hell. Remember? And I was like, whoa. And then you said you were outside and you started to tell me you saw those creep clowns, and they're dark. Mm-hmm. That's because the energy of clowns is dark. Mm-hmm. Overall, there's exceptions to every rule. That lovely space that John Wayne Gacy could be a child and a clown, right? That's just one small piece of him. It doesn't mean that he's well or isn't going to do the toxic things that he did, but it's just to share with you that there is good and well in everything, and there's unwell in everything. And it is up to us to find the God's honest truth about everything and know what that is. And how we do that is by working with love, right? Yeah. So when you asked me that, they came in because of the spaces that you were in. Do you have any other questions with this? Or did you just want me to elaborate on that? Or what are your thoughts?
I guess I just wanted to know anything you could tell me. I just thought it was interesting. The clowns that I saw come out of my closet were like Pennywise type clowns.
Yeah.
And then the ones that I saw outside of my window were really big fat clowns that look like the ones in American Horror Story. Or the one in American Horror Story. It's just a different kind of creepy. Just as creepy.
Yeah. So I hope all you guys heard that. She said, you know, they were like Pennywise clowns. They were kind of creepy, you know, with the teeth. But what's funny, not really funny, is that in these times, universe has those angels that I work with, and they have mouths like that and faces that are pretty harsh with those teeth. But these are agents of the light. Do you see? Mm-hmm. So these dark angels, I call them dark angels, but they're not dark at all if you are of the light. They are designed to fight the dark. So what better way than to fight the darkness with the demons of the darkness itself? Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So these angels morph into that, because when I saw them from behind, they were like beautiful angels, and then they turned around and freaked me the hell out when I saw their face. You know what I mean? Because it was like a Pennywise thing. Mm-hmm. Totally. You know, except it wasn't a clown. It was just a creepy, dark. It's more like a venom kind of thing. It's like a combination of all this. Do you see? Yeah. But those dark angels in these times, we all have them. They're designed to protect us when always we are in the right space or in the healthiest space of love for ourselves. So, and so things are not always cut and dry, black and white, and in the way that we think and believe. Do you see? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, just like with exes, we talk about with our exes or people that we don't get along with, right? Or we can't come to an agreement with. And sometimes they can yell at us, and they can be violent, or they can be rough. But, you know, if you bring a language that they understand, if you speak to the devil in a language he understands, then finally he can what? Hear you where he couldn't before. So this is the same kind of energy understanding with all that is love. Do you see? Yeah. That makes sense to you too, RC? Neat stuff, isn't it? Yeah. How about all you guys here? Cool shit, right? Yeah. All right. So, Rachel, do you have any questions tonight?
I do.
Go ahead.
When I was younger and growing up, I always sleptwalked, like all the time. I went through a lot of phases of it. I did it a lot when I was like really young, and then in my like I think it was my late teens and my early 20s, I went through another sleepwalking phase, and I would always walk into my brother's bedroom and, like, scare the crap out of him. You know, because it'd be the middle of the night, and I'd be talking to him, and I'd be asleep and just sleepwalking.
And you didn't remember any of this, right?
No, I wouldn't remember it. Sometimes I would wake up in the middle of it and kind of be like, oh my God, where am I, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm wondering why. Like, you know, like what that is, and why would I go to my brother's room, and I don't know.
And sleepwalk. I used to have one of my ex-husbands did that. Right. I remember having literal conversations. He like at 3:00 in the morning, he was up in the kitchen moving around feeding the dogs and literally feeding the dogs, and he was sleeping. And I was like, what are you doing? You know, I'm like so-and-so. I'm like shaking him on the shoulders, and he's like not coherent. That's creepy as anything. Yeah. When that stuff happens, it's really creep. So your question is, why does this happen, or how does this happen, or what are you asking me?
Yeah,
you want to know why
that.
it happened with you, or why the experience with your brother?
All of it.
Yeah, this is complex. Okay, so there's many things going on here. Like with my ex, one of the things that he used to do is he used to be heavy on the drugs. So if the dosage on the Benadryl said take 2, he would take like 8. He would do something like totally toxic like that. You know, 1 is not enough, which we're not advising anything like that. Okay, right? But one of the things that he would do is he would take Benadryls, and he didn't have good reactions with them, and he wouldn't take the normal dosage. Okay. And, you know, people like us are super sensitive to medicines. That's that Piscean energy. If you have a lot of Pisces energy, a lot of spiritual or metaphysical gift energies, you're going to have these issues. You're going to be super sensitive to ODs and drugs and poisonings and things like that. That's just part of the way this energy rolls. So in the case of you, I feel again, it's not unlike this whole show. You know, the Cancer, the Pisces energy, the Scorpio energy, which would be the moon, Neptune and Pluto, 3 powerful water planets. So all of you have these energies that talk to me about medium work, have some really powerful aspects in these spaces. So let me just ask, I want to see, because it's important that you know that, because I don't know if you're consciously aware, were you doing anything, were you on any kind of new medicines? Because medicines in Earth world will do that kind of thing as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? I think I was.
Yeah.
I do. I think my doctor had put me on melatonin. The sleep one that helps you sleep at nighttime.
Yeah. And what does Benadryl do?
Yeah,
the same thing. So
sleepy.
it's like you literally went out of it into a different space.
Yeah.
But so much so that it's not unlike astral travel, and it's not unlike sleep paralysis. It's like a variation of these unique situations that happen and that can be induced in Earth world through medicine. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The medicines that we take. So it's almost, this is what's coming in. It's like you're multi-dimensional, but you're not here.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you're sleeping in your room, but your go-to in your conditioning, it's your brother, he's your twin, he's been there for you all your life. So this is like a stand-up sleepwalk thing. Just like when my ex made the food for the dogs, he made the food. You know what I mean? It's like it's like something you do every day over and over. So your soul will lead you and do things like that, you will find. And these are all parts and bits of the pieces of what happens in these different altered states of consciousnesses. Do you see?
Neat.
Yeah, and they come with Pisces, and they come with Cancer energy, and they come with Scorpio energy as well. So that's really cool, though, that I asked you about. The universe showed us the medicine and what happened to him. And I know myself that, you know, normally I think you can take 2 of the tablets of Benadryl for myself. I can't take that much. I have to take like a quarter or a half of a Benadryl from way back in the past when I used to take Benadryls if ever I needed them, you know, for allergies or help me sleep or whatever. When that would happen, anytime I took a a Benadryl, I wouldn't be able to drive, if I took any kind of whole dose, and usually I would just pass out.
Yeah.
And I was not into that. I like to be coherent and aware of what's going on around me, but everybody's different. So I do feel in this particular case, it was the medicine. All right. But it can't happen without these Cancerian energies that you have running in your soul. So you're used to walking around and moving around into different portals while you're sleeping. Do you see? Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah. Neat. It is neat. It is neat. I'm just wondering about the sleep paralysis now and more about that in reference to this. But this I'm feeling is different, isn't associated with that. Usually sleep paralysis is based in some kind of fear, where you're consciously aware of the fear and you can't move. Do you say? Yeah. So that's a main core. Now, not all of it. 73 to 78% of it is that. You see?
I do.
Yeah. So you good with that?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And who else? Anybody? Jen, you have any questions?
I do. I was wondering about that portal that we see on the way to our house. The one that's during the day, it's a wreath that looks like a hippopotamus to me. And then when when the colors of the night start to come in and the darkness comes in, you can see that it's totally a lion.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember, but we talked about this in one of our prior episodes. It was me and Rachel were driving down at our old house and there was this one house that had that wreath, that creepy wreath. Well, Jen and I went down there the other day and we discovered that the door itself is the portal. And so when they put the wreath on there, all this wild stuff happens, right? So we saw the wickedness in the wreath of the portal, right? And then we saw another wreath that they just recently put up, which I don't have pictures today. It's like, oh no. But it was like, it's like a white wreath and it had all this like decoration on it, but then it had like a red hippo, really bizarre. And that's what it looked like in the day. It like had a hippopotamus that was kind of whitish, but it had a red sweater on it. And we drove by it and I was like, yeah, that's a hideous wreath. I'm like on that same door that had the portal around Halloween that we talked about with the darkness and coming through that one wreath, right? With the witches, the dark witches stuff. So later on, that was in the day, I just happened to notice it. So we drive by that same door one night, because this is in our travels, and we drive by that same wreath, and the lighting is completely different, and now it is the head of a lion. And we were like, oh my God. I said to her, turn around, because that is a portal, right? And what's funky is it's what you call, it's kind of like a saloon door. It's like a switching. It's like a switch. Do you see what I'm saying? Depending on what they put on that door, it changes the energy of the portal itself.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that wicked cool? Another way the earth world bridges the metaphysical here in our reality.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, because we were wondering about that. We're like, what is going on here, Yeah. And what's crazy is those people don't even have a clue that this is going on. We're driving our car by. We don't even know these people. And there's this wreath and all this bizarre stuff happening, right, on their door. And so we'll have to get pictures of it in the day and show you guys for next week, Thanks, God, for that for us. Yeah. And we're definitely going to do that. Okay, so any other questions? And what time are we at, Rachel?
8:26.
8:26. Okay, so we got a lot of time still, too. All right, so, Sophia, do you have another question? And do anybody out here still have some?
We have some more online.
Okay, cool. Let's do some online ones. Are you guys good with that?
Yeah.
Cool. All
We
right.
have Andrew Karate.
All right.
He said that him and his wife moved into his wife's mother's and father's house about 2 years ago. As of late, they'll all be asleep, and in the middle of the night, they'll hear stuff falling off the countertop, and laying on the floor, we hear these things hitting the ground. We find them in the morning laying on the kitchen floor, not broken, just laying there. Is this my wife's mom or dad or brother trying to tell us something?
Okay, so let me just clarify. Hi, Andrew. Thanks for coming. Let's see. So he's saying they sleep at a relative's house?
They moved into his wife's mother's and father's home about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And then stuff falling in the middle of the night, and then it's not broken in the daytime. When they wake up and find it, it's just laying there on the floor.
Yeah, so, and he's asking me who this is, what's happening. I do his wife's mother and father.
Yes.
Yeah. And have they both crossed over? Does he know? Did he say?
Believe they have.
Because I feel like they have. I feel like they're trying to just get his attention.
Yeah, because he's asking if it's his wife's mom or dad or her brother, trying to tell him something.
I actually feel like it's all three. So take a look at the things that are falling down in the house, because each thing that either is fallen down will tell you who it is in some way, shape, or form. So let's say your father loved the color blue, and you had a blue dish towel that hung there, or her father loved the color blue. The dish towel will then end up in a different space or on the floor. Do you see? And then that connects to him and will tell you that that's what's going on. Also, there's other ways, like there'll be like your mother's favorite dish, and that might fall out or break or be out on the table where you didn't know it was there, that kind of thing. So the answers, universe is telling me the answers are in the things that come down as to who is there. Sometimes I feel like all three of them are there and they're like having their own little kitchen party. And other times I feel like it's separate. It's separate. So when there's more stuff, there's more of them. When there's less stuff, there's less of them. Okay, so it could be like her dad one time, and then her mom another time, and then the brother as well. So it does come in as that. Let me just see what else. Is there anything else for Andrew with this? What they're telling me, Andrew, is that most of the time this energy comes between 3 and 4 in the morning. So there's something about that time. It's kind of like, what is it they say? Nothing ever happens good after what time is it?
Midnight.
After midnight, yeah. So yeah, it's 3 in the morning. I feel like 3 or 4 in the morning. Did you know if they woke up early? Like if the father had a job and they had coffee in the morning, and he went to a job in Earth World when he was here, or had a job for a long time or a considerable amount of time, where he would wake up at 3 and 4 in the morning, or come home at 3 or 4 in the morning. But I feel like it's a wake up job at 3 or 4 in the morning, and that's why it happens at that time, which is really neat. So you'll be able to connect this to so many different things. Same thing with the calendar year, holidays, all right? You'll be able to, like, let's say there's more activity on Christmas or on a holiday than another holiday, or on a birthday. And this is why. You'll be able to pinpoint more what's going on and why it's happening and who it is in reference to, you say. All right. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. All right. So who's next, Ray?
Sarah Andrews, she would like you to connect with one of her pets.
Okay. Sarah Andrews. Hi. Tell me what's going on with pet. Which pet? Tell me about your pet.
We'll have to wait for that.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to ask the universe about her pet. Because I see several pets around you. I see them from your childhood. I also see them from lifetimes. Now they come in. You can have many pets, and you can have many pets come and return as a different pet, and as a different pet, and as a different pet. So I do see a bunch of animals around you. So when you say you want to connect to one of your pets, and I'm asking universe which one that is that comes in. I feel like there's a little brown and white dog, but I feel like it has like ears that hang down. This is the one that really is coming in right now to connect to. Brown, like a brown with white spots on it. It doesn't feel like it's a really big dog. It feels like more like a smaller dog, but like it could be small to medium. It feels like it's almost like a mutt, but it also feels like it has Jack Russell energy and colors in it of the brown, kind of Jack Russell, brown and white, like a Jack Russell Terrier. All right. This dog is the one that I'm seeing most prominently right now. I also feel like there is a black dog, like a black type of dog, like a black lab, that is another prominent dog that is around you as well. Now, again, these can be because your father or somebody else is around you and the dog is with him. They can literally be your dogs, but I'm picking up that these dogs are super connected to you. So in some way, shape, or form, they are your dog or your family's dog that you really connected to. So if there's one in particular that you have and you want to know about, please tell me the name, and because we'll really elaborate a lot more, because there is so many around that I see. But these are two of the most prominent animals coming in for you right now. They're beautiful. They're beautiful.
She does say that she put one down just before Christmas, but she has several animals that have passed.
All right, so does she have the name of this dog? And did she identify with any of the descriptions?
She's not saying yet.
All right, well, if you do, let us know. And the one from Christmas time, interesting enough, I want to say that it's around you, but it's not, strangely enough. I feel like it's having a heyday. It's like, off in like dog heaven, like jumping around, and it's happy and it feels really good, but it's important. And it's not unlike, that scene in Twilight with Bella and Edward, and they're laying down in the fields of all the fresh flowers. It's like this fantasy land, I feel like your dog is doing that. And I feel like this dog, I know this dog connects to you and loves you very much, but this dog is like so relieved and like so happy and enjoying the flowers and jumping and playing. And that makes sense too, because sometimes, energy, pet energy and people energy, they'll do stuff like that. They'll go and do their own thing and just, take like a hiatus or a break. Like it's just different than you think in Earth World a lot of times. So I do feel like that's what, if you could quote, call it doggy heaven, that's what I'm seeing, like lavender and jumping, and it's like a beautiful sunny day, but it's not hot and it's kind of cool, and there's this freedom to run all over the place. And I feel like your dog is like basking in that energy, just like I'm out of my physical body. I'm like so happy, relieved. I can run, I can play. And that's what he feels like.
What's funny,
Okay?
Lynn, is
What?
she says that dog's name was Prancer. And I feel like that's so based on what you're saying.
Prancer, but that makes so much sense. Yeah. Prancer would jump around, yep, and right in the energy, right? Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Thanks, Sarah. Anything else you want to know about that or this?
She says that that's good to know about Prancer. He was a Pomeranian, almost 16 years old.
Okay, so he was tiny. Yeah. And he had a great life. He had a great life with you. And his ears were folding over. See that? And was he black or was he brown? Because I saw two dogs, and brown and white. So I feel like he could have been brown and white. Like Les had one that was brown and white too. Yeah. Neat. That's funny because our dog Tucker, he's got Pomeranian in him too. Yeah. He's a mix. Yeah. We call him the words that rhyme with him. Tucker the. Yeah, because that's his energy. He's a bad boy. He's a bad boy.
He's a good bad boy.
Yeah, he's a bad boy. All right, so let me see. All right, so who else, Rachel or
We have
Jen?
Donna Andrews.
Okay, hi Donna Andrews. Thanks for coming.
She said when her oldest daughter was 4 years old, she was sleeping and heard her crying. She walked into her room and saw a black, wispy triangle shape floating over her head. She felt a negative energy that wanted to bother her. What was it, and why was it bothering her daughter?
All right, so the triangle was over her daughter's head.
Yeah, and it was black and wispy.
Okay, Donna, is there anything else that you can tell me about or tell us about? Where you were, right? Where you were city-wise, like where you were living, the situation that was going on, because there's so much more to this in the energy. When you say a triangle, were you awake? Was this a vision that you got? You went in her room? Was this a dream? Did she clarify?
I believe it was real life.
Okay, so like she went in there and saw a dark triangle.
Yes.
All right, God. What's the God's honest truth here? Does she have her daughter's name? Her first name, at least?
She doesn't, but I'll let you know when she types it in. And she
All
said her
right.
daughter was crying. That's why she went into her room to begin with.
All right. Let me see. This is an interesting one. All right. What's going on here, God?
She did say it was in a 2-bedroom trailer in a negative place.
Yeah.
Amber is her name.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So the cool thing about Amber is Amber There's a lot of past life releases. That's her name is Amber. See, and that's why I was saying what was going on there. You said the trailer park. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Trailer. Yeah. That I feel like the energy isn't about her at all. I feel like there's dark energies around there, and that's what the image was. It's not unlike, it's bizarre. It's not unlike if you related it to dark energies of, the triangle that goes like this and the evil eye. Is it the all-seeing eye? I think it is the all-seeing eye. Yeah, because I'm feeling like you lived in this space, and this is why I said what's going on around you, because there's more to the story. So when you're in this energy, I feel that there's somebody there, some kind of darkness that was local to you, doing like, I want to say like black magic or dark magic. So it makes complete sense as to what you are is what you attract. So I feel the image that you were seeing and that made your daughter upset is part of that. I don't necessarily feel that it is for you. I feel like it's like what I'm picking up on is a spillover of that energy. A lot of times what happens is darker energy stuff looks for the light, and you're super gifted, Donna, and it's in your family lineage, so it will gravitate to those spaces or expand. But I definitely feel like there was some kind of just dark shit going on there. The energy of the whole park and all feels pretty dark. It's a lower vibrational space. I'm sure you know that. And I'm just wondering why, what more about the triangle, it's like the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, but the fact that it's black is like the opposite of that. Do you see? I'm wondering if it pointed up, if it pointed down, was it moving around? What else was it doing? I also see like a blue misty smoke all around it. Like if somebody lit like a cone incense, and it was like blue smoke, like a bright blue smoke going all around it as well. So let me know if this makes more sense to you, Donna, or if you connect to this, so that we'll talk about it more in reference to this, so we get the whole entire story, because I feel there's more to this. But yeah, and the reason you woke up is because as a mom, on a subconscious level, you're going to go in there and protect your daughter from that dark energy.
Well, it's funny because she said that as soon as she walked into the room, it went away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See? Yep. Soon as of course it did, because you're of the light and you're not afraid of it, and you're super gifted, so you're protecting your kid. Your heart is in the right space. And just like those dark angels that leave to go after people who are toxic and not in the healthiest space of love, right? Just like that, when you go in there with that energy of love, you have all the power, so you dissipate this. Do you see? And that's totally what your soul did. And then you have the power of being a mom, because a mom loves so hard. There ain't nothing in this world, like I tell my kids all the time, I'm like, I am your number one fan. I am your number one fan. I love you so much, and I doubt anybody in the world is going to love you this much. And may the whole world love you this much, who doesn't want that for anybody? But as a general rule, mom energy is the powerhouse energy, right? It's a creative energy, and mom energy means business. It's the protector. Okay, so that's what I'm picking up on for this, Donna. I'm just wondering about that blue smoke, which is interesting. So God, if you can elaborate, or universe in love, can you elaborate on all of this, please, for us now? And thanks, God, for that for us. Thanks, love, for that for us. Okay. What else? Anyone else? You got some questions, Jen? And let me know, Rachel, if Donna has anything else to say about it.
She's just saying thank you.
Oh, super welcome, Donna. Super welcome. And Donna, you know your shit. You know, and we all do, really. Go ahead.
It's 8:40.
Okay, so we got about 5 minutes tonight to end our show, right?
Stephanie Bard was wondering if we reunite with our family and pets when we pass.
You usually do a lot of times, but it's what you choose. All right. A lot of times we don't even get along with our families. It's like we just get out of this dimension. Our grandfather might have died, or somebody in our family might have passed away like 5 or 10 years ago, and we just finally got out of that tumultuous relationship, and here they are again. But it's different, it is different. So the answer to that is yes, but it's about soul agreements and karmic agreements, Stephanie. And thanks for coming. So glad you came. And so the answer is yes, but you as your own individual being, soul energy, space of God or love, you choose and have these agreements of who you want to see, be with you, come back, do stuff with as you cross over. So that is the answer for now. Meaning for now, meaning there could be other ways depending on where you want to elaborate on this. So let me know. Okay. Thank you. All right. So any more questions before we wrap it up? One last question we'll do.
We have Virginia.
Okay.
I believe the last name is Matero. She said when her grandson was a baby, he'd be crying, but if he looked in the other room, he would stop, like as if he was looking at someone or something.
Okay.
She always said that it was her mother. Do you think it was her?
Mother. Mother energy, right?
Mother.
Okay. Do I feel like her mother was there and the baby would see the mother, and so when the baby was crying, she would notice that was happening?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's the God's honest truth here with this? Does she know the baby's name? Because I'm being prompted to ask the child's name. So when I ask these questions, guys, it's not because I'm like sitting here thinking about nothing. It's because the universe is guiding me to ask these questions so we can pull out more about the truth, the God's honest truth about what's going on. Okay, to let everybody know. All right.
She hasn't sent it in, but when she does, I'll let you know.
Okay. All right.
Shane.
Shane?
Baby's name is Shane.
That's wild. It makes me think, come back, Shane. Come back. Oh, makes me want to cry. Remember Shane?
Yes, come back.
You guys know that movie? Oh, Shane. Oh, all right. I got to get out of that space. All right. Thanks, God. For getting me out of there.
Healing.
Yes. Whew. It's funny because I feel like sometimes it's your mom, but I don't feel like that's the answer. So that's why I'm saying, Shane's baby. Not unlike Donna Andrews telling me, where did you live? Where were you living? Because I don't feel like that's the energy. I feel like occasionally, yeah, but okay, here's what's coming in. Because we were talking about ghosts. So there's a little girl that the baby sees. That this little girl connects to the baby, like the ghost stories I told earlier. This little girl was connecting to the baby in like the area where you were living. That's what would stop the baby from crying. So it's a positive, healthy ghost energy relationship. So the baby would literally see that energy, and there was a relationship there where you were living or where the baby was living. So that's what's coming in, because it's a young girl. She's about 6 or 7. She has bangs like this, and she has short blonde hair that goes to this, and she's tiny, and she's in a dress. It almost feels like she has she's like from the 70s or dressed in the 70s kind of clothes. She has like a dark red burgundy pair of shoes that are like made of leather, and they buckle over the top, and they got a little window in the top, and she has like tights on, like from the 70s, like white tights, and then she has this little dress, and then the dress buttons down in the front and has little flowers on it. But she is connecting to the baby. She was connecting to the baby, and she's a ghost. All right. And, in this space, ghost energy, but she's like angelic. She's lovely. And you can cross energies. So people say, oh, that's a ghost and that's an angel. We've all been so many things. And so is the nature of God. God is everything. So there's multi-layers. So you can have ghosts that are souls that are, of course they're souls, but you can have ghosts that are angelic, and you can have like my sister who's a unicorn, and Rachel is a deer. You can have multi-layers, of other energies running in us through the portals in our souls. And this is how it is for most complex, your most complex souls and oldest souls since the beginning of all time, or since the beginning of all that is God or love. Do you see? So there's some powerful energies here, and it's complex. So you can have multi energies that cross over and do different things. Not unlike if you think about it in the mystical worlds, or elemental worlds as well, and magical worlds, where they have unicorns that are Pegasuses, right? And griffins and things like that. So you have crosses of animals and layers of those energies in different dimensions and things like that. So fascinating stuff, right? If you can wrap your head around it. And so much of this comes out in our imagination, and people don't believe that anything like this is real. But this is just one dimension of all that is God, and not unlike the darkness that is out here, let's say, with the Hollywood Grammys, and you guys saw this crazy red show of gross. It was just like, it was really super toxic. Now, they didn't literally come out and say that it's satanic, but it couldn't be any more obvious. But so the reason we're talking about that is because the layers of everything that is God, there's so much that is hidden that you have no idea energetically in the layers of everything that is God. God is infinite. If you just look around you in the one room you're sitting, there's tons of stuff, tons of energy, and just the people we know, and in everything that is God or love. And in all that is, right? All that is universe, all that is heaven, all that is the stars, right? Yeah. Okay. So I believe that answers the questions for today. Yes? Yeah. Okay. And thank you everybody who came live, and thanks you guys for supporting our show, and we'll see you next week at 7:15 for our usual show. And again, you can answer and ask any questions that you want. In other words, share your stories, and we'll see you next week at 7:15 on Wednesday. All right. Thanks so much. Love you guys.